Shalom. Shalom. I like to start by saying Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Racha Kodash, Thumb Yad, Tawab, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and salutes unto the Arkim that continue to push the word in truth and in sincerity. Now, this is going to be a quick video. I'm not going to be on here too long. It's something that's very simple. So I'm not going to, labor the point too much. I won't be here on too long at all, but yeah, man, Shabbat, Shalom. Okay, it is so-called Sunday evening. I would flip the camera, you can see out the window the sun has gone down. We're in the evening period, which is the end of one day, the beginning of the next. And so-called Sunday this month, the Sabbath, the new moon came in on a Sunday. So the evening of, meaning Sunday evening to Monday evening for this month is the Shabbat. Okay, I believe this is the third of the cycle, the third week. The word week means change. So this is the third changing of the moon. So we'll have another week, the fourth and final change, before the next change comes in, which would be the new moon again. Okay, but this is just a quick video. I've done lessons on this before. Brothers have done lessons on how to calculate the Sabbath, the validation of the new moon being the Sabbath, not Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Okay, in this lesson, I'm not gonna go into the calculations of how to calculate, or how to look for the new moon, and the algorithm of how the moon works, the weeks, the changes. More so, I'm gonna get into the Sabbath days itself. Okay, because I've done lessons on how to calculate it. I've reposted lessons of other brothers and other elders, and even apostles, the Apostle Aramlab and the Apostle Tahar, reposted, previous lessons of them breaking down, the new moon Sabbath, man. Okay, but in this lesson, really quickly, I'm gonna get into what you can and what you can't do, because there seems to be a little bit of confusion around, when the Sabbath is, and it's like, well, if you don't know, if you struggle to know when the Sabbath is, or the validation of the new moon Sabbath opposed to what the small hats do Friday to Saturday set up, it's like, well, do you even know how to keep the Sabbath? Okay, so I'm gonna get into really quickly, the do's and the don'ts, what you want to do and what you want to abstain from um, on the Sabbath days. And I've chosen today to do it because it's actually a Sabbath, literally out here in, the southern part of England, where I'm at London, the Sabbath has just come in. Maybe up in Scotland, maybe within the next half an hour the Sabbath will come in. But yeah, as for where I'm at in London, the Sabbath has come in. So without further ado, I'm gonna read something for you here. This is the book of Exodus. Where are we at? Right, so this is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, and it says, I'm going to go straight to the point, in verse 8, and it says, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Okay, the word there, holy, is kodash, not kadash. Okay, sometimes when we give the salute, through the slip of the tongue, you don't want to be over righteous, but we may say, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Racha Kadash. It's really kodash. Okay, chwa sound opposed to cha, because chadash actually relates to the lesson. Chadash means new moon, or to refreshing or new. in pertaining to the moon, Chadash, but Chodash means holy. Okay, similar words. Um, so it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Shabbat unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt do no work. Thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Okay, and as I said, this lesson is not to calculate, to explain the calculations of how to determine the new moon and the following Sabbath thereafter, and the new moon coming again. This is particularly dealing with what can be done and what can't be done on the Sabbath days. Okay, and then we're gonna bring in some other points to further back that up. But it's only right we start out in the commandments here, known as the 10, which really the other commandments, the 10 is just a summary of the 613. Okay, so it says, but the seventh day is the Sabbath unto the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work. Okay, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Okay, because the Sabbaths are your keeping of the Sabbath um, it's a household thing. Okay, because first of all, I'm going to explain it in an idealistic situation whereby we're able to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Then we're going to get into the fact that we're not able to keep the law properly, man. Okay, but in an idealistic situation, in an idealistic scenario, your household keeps the Sabbath, man. So if you've got cattle, you can't put them to work on the field. Okay, if you've got servants, man or woman, you can't put them to work. They are to rest also. All right, and it says what? Any stranger that is within thy gates, man. All right, another that being another Israelite that may be at your house. Okay, you know, he can't put them to work either. All right, any guests essentially that are at your house can't be put to work. You can't bring anyone in to do work. All right. Now I happen to grow up, in a Christian church, uh, obviously following under my mother, and she's the type of Christian that they observe Friday to Saturday as the Sabbath. And I remember one day I was a little boy and we came back from church, and the window cleaner was, he came round and cleaned the windows on the street of our where the street where our house is, on a Saturday. And it so happened that we pulled up outside of the house and he was on our house, you know, on a Saturday afternoon cleaning our window. And my mother, you know, albeit, got it wrong, the Sabbath isn't Friday sundown to Saturday sundown permanent, as the elder Yashua said, the Lord ain't stiff, man. Just going to choose one day and that's it, But still, by the principle of things, I never forget. I was probably about 8 or 9, and my mother, she said to the window cleaner, "I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. Please clean my window of this house, on a different day. And if you can't do it on a different day, that's fine. But don't clean the window because you're within my gate and I don't want any work done on my house or in within my gates on the so-called Sabbath, as she called it, the Saturday." So she said to the guy, "Listen, I'll pay you this week because you've done it, but if you come and clean again on the Saturday, I ain't paying you because I've made it very clear to you. I don't want you to clean the window, our house windows on our Sabbath, man." And the guy said, "All right, cool." And he started coming on a Sunday, man, okay. And like I said, albeit that's not the correct way to keep Sabbath and everything, but by the principle, that was kind of on point, man. You're not meant to have any work done or invite anyone to do work within your house. So that's the fundamental first thing. What can I and what can't I do? Well, one of the things that we'll start with the things to abstain from, all right, which is in the scriptures, which is servile work, man. Okay, anything that's not scripture, pertaining to the office of the temple, all right, which means anything that is outside of the scriptures, for example, sometimes camp does fall on a Friday to Saturday, man. Okay, so like it sometimes Sabbath does fall on a Friday to Saturday, according to the new moon. So for that whole month, you know, if the Sabbath is Friday evening to Saturday evening, does that mean we don't go to camp on Saturday? You know, because that's doing the work, but that's not considered servile work. That's considered the office of the temple. Okay, because when you get into other parts of the law in Leviticus, it spake about that the office of the temple should continue to run, or the work of the temple should continue to run, even on the Sabbath, man. Okay, for case in point, when you really want to get technical about it, you're not meant to spark a fire. That's considered work. But guess what? There was a candle, the menorah, that had to be lit continually. All right, so the priest would have to go in and check that it's being lit, and if needs be, spark the candle, man. So would that be considered work or violation of the Sabbath? No, because it's the office of the temple. So if it's to do videos, you know, or if the camp day, you know, the Sabbath aligns with camp day, you know, and you go out and you do the work of the Lord, that's not considered servile work. That's considered the office of the temple, man. But any other thing, like, you know, fixing, you know, repairing a car, or you know, painting in the house, you know, you got some paint work to do on the walls, you know, cleaning the window. I gave that example, you know, fixing the fridge or the cooker, whatever, the stove, whatever it may be. All those things should wait, man. Okay. Now, where it concerns sparking fires, you know, I remember brothers had asked me this question before. You know, a particular brother had told another one that and this ain't to put anyone out there, but it's just an example that could, you know, further, you know, benefit the wider brotherhood. You know, a particular brother said to another brother, if you light incense, you know, you're going off on the Sabbath. Well, no, you're not. Okay, because when you, once again, that's considered the office of the temple, man. All right, certain incenses had to be offered, and you know, when you put it in the chalice thing with the chain, and you, certain things had to be done continually. The candle example as well, you know. So if it's anything that surrounds this truth, all right, you know, you could do it, all right. But then there's the thing of cooking, all right. There was talk of, the scriptures speak about the preparation day. Let me get that, because basically our whole week is based around Shabbat, okay? And on the sixth day, that's known as the preparation day, okay? Bear with me. Come on, man. Here we go. Yeah, this other phone, the internet moves slow inside the house, but fast outside the house. I don't understand. Alright. This is John 19 and 31. The Jews, therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for the Sabbath day was an high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and that may be taken away. Because when Yahushua was crucified, he was crucified with two malefactors. Okay, I believe they were thieves. Alright. And the one on the right, the malefactor to the right, he's actually a part of the elect, man. Okay, and just before, you know, they died, they were on the cross, and he looked over to Yahushua and said, Lord, remember me when they'll come into thy kingdom. Oh yeah, come into thy kingdom. And Yahushua said unto him, today I say unto you, ye shall be with me in paradise. Because the spirit realm is paradise, man. You know, when Paul died, he said that you know, there's things unspeakable. You know, you can't even put it into words, man. You know, and 14 years later, or thereabout, he came back on the planet Earth, man. You know, okay. He said, I knew a man about 14 years ago, whether in the flesh or not, I cannot tell. He's talking about himself, because Paul got stoned, but then the Lord put his spirit back down, man. And on the earth, that was in earth years, that was around 14 years later, man. Okay, so the spirit realm is paradise. So the Lord was saying to the malefactor on the right, it's no sweat, man. We gonna die just now, because we're on the cross. I'm on my cross, you're on your cross. We're about to die, but guess what? This very day, you're gonna be with me in paradise, man. Okay, which is the spirit realm. So when Yahweh's spirit left his body and it went back up into the spirit realm, he would have met the, the one of the previous spirits that just entered back up into the spirit realm just before him was the male factor on the right, because those two died first, then the Lord died last, man. Okay, actually, Salakia, that's wrong. Yahweh Shai um, went first, okay, you know, and then they broke the legs of the others, so that, because when you're crucified, what actually kills you is suffocation. So you would use your legs to hoist yourself up. So if you broke the kneecaps, like the legs there, the kneecaps, then the person could no longer hoist themselves up. That means they would die of suffocation and choking of blood, which was a quick death. Okay, but Yahweh Shai, he was so badly beaten before, that when they came to knock his legs, and break his legs, he was already dead. Okay, but that's a prophecy that not one of his bones should break. So they didn't need to break his legs because he was already dead. But when after he died, I was thinking of this earlier. I was going to do a lesson on it. What came out when they stabbed the Lord? Because once he was already dead, they stabbed him, man. They pierced him with a spear, which is it's nothing but stabbing someone, man. And blood and water came out, which is a whole different lesson, Abarat Azar, which I'll do, you know. But the point is that the male factor on the right, he was in the spirit realm with the Lord. And the guy on the left, but he was taking a piss. He was mocking the Lord. All right. So when he entered the spirit realm, he had his head down, man. You know. But then when Yahweh Shai entered the spirit realm, and the guy to his right that said, "Remember me, Lord, when you come into your kingdom," he's a part of the elect, man. So he's all good, you know. And that brother might be, back here today in one of the camps, man. You know. All right. But the point is that in John 19:31, the Jews therefore, because it was the preparation. The preparation is basically the day before the Sabbath, which in today's calendar would be the same day before sundown. Okay. So that's the preparation. All right, you would prepare, in the ancient world, you prepare all the water you need for the day of the Sabbath. You'd go to wash. There's a special, ritual bath you do, before the Sabbath, man. Okay, you know, all the food would be prepared. All right, because we were speaking about lighting fires. Lighting fires to cook isn't permissible on the Sabbath, man. That's why the Apostle Tahar says, oftentimes when he mentions it, he'll put something together like a cold turkey sandwich. Okay, you know, because on the Sabbath day itself, you shouldn't be cooking, man. So that's the one thing you wouldn't want to do. Okay. So all these things are handled before, all these logistical things, the bath water that you're gonna use for the next day, the drinking water, the food is gonna be prepared. Okay, and in the ancient world we had these stove things that would keep the food warm, and when the stove was turned off, it was so hot it would keep the food like almost lukewarm until the next day when it was time to eat, man. Okay, but as for actual big, as Benjamin says, cook up and cook down. You ain't gonna have no cook up and cook down on the Sabbath, man. All right. Okay. um Luke 23:54, and that day was the preparation and the Sabbath drew on. Okay, so the day before Shabbat is known as the preparation day, man. Okay, so if brothers, you can, you know, we're in hell, man. So you ain't gonna be able to do everything perfectly. Okay, but the idea is that for example, um, like for example, I'll give an example that I just did. Like today's Sunday, right? As I said, Sunday daytime. From Saturday evening, to Sunday evening is the preparation day, man. You know. So yesterday we had camp and everything. I made sure that Sunday, which was today, so-called Sunday daytime, I did all my washing, and everything. I tried to the best of my ability to get as much done because I know when the Sabbath comes in, I can't be doing all these things, man. You know. And once again, this is the law, but we're not saved by it, man. We do this out of reverence and fear for the Lord, but we're not doing it to be saved, man. Because the ultimate law is the law of faith. So are there times where you fuck up, man? 100%, man. Okay, you know, 100%. Sometimes you forget, man. You know, and you don't get over righteous with it, man. You know, like brothers have asked in the past, well, you know, putting on the heating is like flicking light in a flame. So should I stay? Don't stay in the fucking cold all day, you know, and call yourself pleasing the Lord, freezing in the house, you know, in honor of the Sabbath. Put the heating on, man. you know, you know, okay. You know, say you're gonna go to a brother to keep this, you know, you want to be with the brother, you used to camp or whatever, and you drive, but it happens to be on a Sabbath. Oh, I can't, you know, turn the car and igniting the engine. That's a flame. No, man. If you need to drive, drive, man. Okay. Don't want to get over righteous with it because then you'll be like the wicked ones of the Pharisees, man. You know, just instead of the Sabbath becoming a delight, or instead of the laws becoming a delight to keep, it's more of a burden. And Yahushua spoke about that. You know, you go specifically speaking about the Sabbath, you get over righteous with it, and it's like, oh, what the fuck can I do then? I'm just sitting in the room all day. No, the Sabbath is meant to be a delight. Okay, as we just read, it's a high day, man. So it's meant to be a day of rest, a day of celebration, man. Okay, it's actually a memorial in all our dwellings. That's within the law, man. So we've just, you know, gone through that. That the day before Shabbat is known as the preparation day. So that's the day where ideally you'd want to get everything done that you can get done. So that on the Sabbath day you abstain from these servile types of work. But we understand that we're in hell. Let me get this. Um, right. This is the book of Judges. Uh, this phone's so slow, man. Come on, bro. It works perfectly fine outside, and then in the house, it's just slow as all hell, man. Right, this is Judges uh, 5 and 11, and it says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, which represents what? Our captivity, which we're still in, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, which is what? The law, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. Right, so essentially we're still in our captivity, man, but we're rehearsing the righteous acts. Not that we're saved or we believe we're saved by the keeping of the law, but that we do it because it's a command, okay, to show our devotion, our respect, and our fear unto the word of the Lord, man. But first and foremost, knowing that we're not saved by this, because this is another hot topic right now. You know, the idea of keeping the law perfectly and by that you obtain salvation. No, man. All right. That's a whole nother lesson in itself. Okay. We're not, but the point is, we're not saved by the law. We're saved by the law of faith in Yahweh Shai. Okay. He's our deliverer. He's our savior, man. Not the keeping of the law, because we can't keep it perfectly, man. When you check it, even though we keep, staying on top, even though we keep Sabbath, we don't keep it perfectly. Okay. So it says, there shall they rehearse. A rehearsal, like when you have a play, the rehearsal is the time where you make mistakes. Oh, I'm trying to remember my lines. Do I come in at this scene? Do I come in? You can get it wrong in a rehearsal because it's practice mode. But then when the real thing happens, you're going to do it perfectly. The real thing is going to happen in the kingdom. All right. Let me get a precept on that. So right now in our rehearsal mode, we don't take pleasure in making mistakes. All right. Let it be known. We don't take pleasure in making mistakes, but we can afford to make mistakes because this is merely but a rehearsal. Okay. I'll say it one more time. We don't take pleasure in making mistakes. We try and do things right to the best of our ability. However, we can afford to make mistakes through grace of the Lord because it's merely but a rehearsal. It's going to be done perfectly in the kingdom. Okay. Um, this is where we are. Salakia. Right. We are in Hebrews. Where are we at? Hebrews 10, and it says, uh, from verse 1, and it says, for the law having a shadow of good things to come, and not every image of things can never, with those sacrifices which they offer year by year, continually make comers thereunto perfect, man. Because Yahushua was that one-time sacrifice, so we don't need to keep sacrificing the various sacrifices and offerings for various things. You know, sacrificing turtle doves and sheep, and we don't need to do that anymore, man, because Yahushua was that one-time perfect sacrifice, man. But it says, for the law having a shadow of good things to come. So when we rehearse the law, as we just read in Judges 5 and 11, it's a shadow, man. Okay, the shadow is what? The reflected image, or the reflected light of a true image. The shadow is not the true image. The shadow is a reflected light of the true image. Case in point, if you look at the wall behind me, all right, I can see it, so you brothers will be able to see it. On the wall directly behind me, you can see my shadow. So when I move, you can see the shadow move, all right. But the shadow is not the true image. I'm the true image, okay. But it's reflected light of a true image. So right now, the law which we're trying to keep is like the shadow behind me, my own shadow, man. It's not the real thing. The real thing is what we're going to experience in the kingdom. So in the kingdom, we'll be able to keep the Sabbath properly. We'll calculate it perfectly. Okay? You know, we won't go off, and we're going to be programmed to righteousness anyway. You know? So it's a shadow, man, of the real thing to come. Okay? You know? All right? Now let me get another precept. This is Luke 4 and 16, and it says, and he came to Nazareth, talking of Yahushua, where he had been brought up. As it was his custom, he went into the synagogue on the Shabbat day and stood up for to read. Okay, you know, so talking of what we can do now, you know, what it was our custom that we would go to the synagogue, because the setup in Israel is that you had the main temple, all right, and synagogue means house in Greek, or gathering of men in a house. Okay, so you had the main temple, then all around Israel you had various houses, various synagogues, which were run by various rabbis. Okay, and you would have the, you know, the Sabbath service there, and you know, and stuff like that. Okay, so a part of the Sabbath day was going to the synagogue, man. All right, you know, and there you would have the reading of the law, the Torah, all right, you know, the breakdown thereof, you know, all right, like the Sabbath service was revealed, you know, through the Spirit of the Lord to our teachers, man, you know, High Priest, you know, Rabbi Abba Bivens, um, High Priest Iquab, King Marshal, High Priest Ariyah, you know, High Priest Shah, Apostle, you know, he was known back then as High Priest Tahar, Apostle Tahar, you know, High Priest Shah. Okay, he's also a man of the Lord. You know, all these men, the Sabbath service was passed down to them, which, you know, we keep, you know, on the Sabbath service, you know, if brothers get together on the Sabbath, you know, you could keep the Sabbath service, you know, but we mainly do that on the Passover, you know, but you can have the Sabbath service on on a regular Sabbath day, man. You know, okay, if you know, if you're with brothers, you can keep the Sabbath service. Like if I was with brothers right now, you know, we could keep the Sabbath service. You know, right? But we mainly keep it when we're together on the Passover, man. You know, but as it says, as it was his custom to do, he went up into the synagogue, man. You know, now we don't have you know, things shift, things move. We don't have the temple. We don't have, because there's no need. Well, we do have the temple, Salakia. What I meant was we don't have the physical temple. There's a spiritual temple, the third temple, which we hope to be a part of. We indeed have that. Okay, you know. But as for like physical the small hats call it yeshivas, you know, and synagogue. We don't have yeshivas in synagogues, all right. The yeshiva or the school is spiritual now. You know, it's the men, you know, okay. The last school, the last true school was at One West, man. You know, but then wickedness got in today, which the Lord made it happen anyway, as the apostles tell us, and broke it up because things were now moving from a physical thing to being spiritual, man. That's how we don't have no great millstone building, because we are the building, and that's in the scriptures. You know, you are the Lord's building. You are the Lord. You are the temple, man. Okay, but back then we had these synagogues, so it was our custom. We'd go into the synagogue. We'd have the Sabbath service. We'd hear the reading of the law. We'd hear the reading from the prophets. You know, sing some psalms. You know, led by the priests. You know, and then brothers would do their prayers. You know, and then go home, man. Okay, so, you know, and by the way, the synagogue service weren't an all day thing. Like, you go to church, right? You can get to church at 9 a.m. and leave at like 9 p.m. And that weren't no day of rest. That weren't how it was, man. The Sabbath service, however long it would take, an hour and a half, wherever it was, you know, you go home, you eat, and you rest, man. Okay, you know. So now we don't go to an actual building, okay, you know, but what do? We do videos, man. Okay, as I'm doing now, as other brothers are doing now. Okay, you know, if, like I said, if when the Sabbath falls on camp day, we go to the camp. All right, we already explained that that's permissible work because that's the office of the temple. You know, okay, we study, we read, we pray, man. Yeah, rest. It's a day of rest. After you don't have to study all day on the Sabbath, man. You can take a couple of hours and study. You know, you can do a couple of videos on a Shabbat day, all right? And then, hey, shit, man, take a nap, man. Like, people want to overcomplicate the Sabbath like it's some rocket science thing, man. Shabbat is a day of rest, man, all right? If you've studied, all right, you know, if you've prayed, if you've done some videos, take a fucking nap or something, man. Rest, eat some food and relax. Wake up, watch videos, man. Watch other brothers, man. It's a day of rest. It's a day that's devoted to the Lord, man. Okay, you know. So that's how we keep the Sabbath, man. You know, and as we said, we read it in Judges 5 and 11. You know, the places are drawing water. You know, so it's not going to be perfect. There's days where the Sabbath falls and you know you're at work, and according to your work schedule and your setup, you know, I sometimes do fall victim to this. You may not be able to get the day off, man. Well, then you pray to the Lord, man. You take your ass to work and you doing the job. You supplanting. You're at Bob. You're at Bill. Yeah, man, I'm clocking in, doing my shift. But inwardly, you may feel like shit. But then you pray to the Lord, hey, Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, Salakia, man, Salakia, forgive me, you know. I couldn't really change the schedule, forgive me, man. Cause guess what? No job, right? That's why the apostles push app-based jobs or working for yourself where possible. And where possible, do it. But if it's not possible, then the Lord understands, man. All right, because let's say that you only get a certain amount of annual leave. Okay, let's say the Sabbath the Sabbath falls on different days. You know, this week is this month is Sunday to so-called Sunday to Monday evening. All right, and maybe Tuesday to Wednesday next, Thursday to Friday, whatever, man. You can't just keep taking days off. Yeah, all right, boss. Yeah, you know what? It's my Sabbath, so for the next 4 weeks, every it comes in on a Wednesday evening, so every Thursday daytime I ain't coming in 9 to 5, and then the next month is every Friday it ain't gonna work. Your ass ain't gonna be employed. How you gonna make money? How you gonna eat? Okay, you have to be practical with these things, man. Okay, now there's certain high holy days that you gotta be prepared to walk the fuck out of that job, man. All right. Brothers shouldn't be contemplating, I can't make the Passover because of work. Man, look, man, I'll lose my job for that one day, that one high holy day of Passover, man. If my boss talk about, well, you know what, mate, we're going to have to consider and give you what's it? Not a verbal warning. What's the word, man? after verbal warning, we're gonna have to give you a written warning, and if we might have to consider your future at the company. Well, then you can consider my future at the company all by yourself, all right? Because I ain't coming to no fucking catch-up meeting, man. I would gladly lose the job to be at the Passover, man. Okay, or the Day of Atonement. Like those are 2 days that is just non-negotiable, man. If you're in your spirit debating whether you should attend the Passover or keep the Day of Atonement, then you ain't right, man. Okay, but the regular Sabbath, weekly Sabbath and stuff, you try and get the day off. If you work a job where you can get you control your own hours, then don't work on that day, man. That's a blessing of the Lord unto yourself, man. All right, but these are things which we do, man. Okay, you know. So it's very simple, brothers, man. It's very simple. All right, the Sabbath is a day of rest. It's a day devoted unto Yahweh Hashem Shai. All right, we no longer have synagogues. We no longer have a physical temple. We pray to be a part of the Lord's spiritual third temple, man. All right, so you can get together with brothers if you can on the Sabbath, do lessons, chill. All right, if you've cooked, as we spoke about, the preparation day, it's the day before the Sabbath. So in today's calendar, it would be the same day before sundown. You get all your stuff ready and try and not do any servile work. All right, sleep, rest, eat, study, watch videos, do videos, man. That's your Sabbath, man. Until the kingdom, that's how we gonna ride it, man. All right, it's as simple as that, man. And no, you can't have sex on the Sabbath, man, because you'd want to be clean. Okay. Let me get Leviticus 15, right? Because once again, we're rehearsing the righteous acts, man. But you want to be clean on the Sabbath day, man. All right. Also things like the Passover. You don't want to be coming up into the Passover, ceremonially unclean, man. You dealt with a woman, and you say you should be unclean until evening, but you ain't washed or whatever. That's fucking off. That's no fair for the Lord, man. Because when you're in an unclean state, you can't officiate the office of a priest. Are we not priests? Okay. Where's this now? This is Leviticus 14. I said 15. Here we go. Yeah, so I ain't gonna read it because it's a lengthy thing, but if you go to Leviticus 15, it speaks about, being unclean, because of copulation, basically laying with a woman, right? Anything you touch becomes unclean. So automatically, in your head, I can't touch anything, you can't touch the Torah, okay, that there's no law on this, but within myself, I don't touch my garment. When I'm in an unclean state, I don't touch my Bible. I don't touch my Torah, nothing, man. Anything that's been consecrated to the use of the truth, all right. I don't really touch it, man, because I'm in an unclean state, man. All right. So that IUIC, I can have sex thing on this. That's off, man. That is off. Okay. It's a day devoted unto the Lord, man. When you're up in your woman, let's just be honest, man. When you're up in her guts, alright, when her legs are spread and you're up in your guts, you ain't thinking about the Lord, man. Alright, you ain't thinking about, prophecies. You ain't thinking about teaching. Alright, you ain't thinking about any of that, man. Alright, you're in enjoyment mode, man. And there's a time and a place for that, man. You're thinking about the comfort of the woman. Let's get that. Alright, and I'm gonna close it out on this. A woman is a pillar of rest. Here it is, it's the Shabbat, right? And you should be resting in the Lord, but then you resting in a woman? Nah, man. You fucked up, man. This is Sirach 36 and 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest, man. So yeah, your wife is a pillar. It's questionable with these women today, but if you got a halfway decent woman, she's like a pillar of rest, man. You know, you come home from a long day of work, you know, the scriptures also speak about the beauty of a woman calms a man's spirit or makes him cheerful, man. Like you come home and your wife is looking nice and stuff. It makes you smile. It makes you get that warm feeling inside. You know, we ain't monsters up here. We scream and shout at camp when the spirit gets like that. But we're just men. All right. Yeah, we got feelings too. Okay. If you didn't know. All right. The Hebrew Israelites got feelings too. All right. The bum camp. Great, we men are great. We got feelings too, man. All right, you know. All right. So when you're with your woman, you get that soft feeling inside. You know, you cuddle up, you play with her, you do your business, whatever, man. All right. But on the Sabbath day, the day of rest, you're not resting in the Lord. That's like a spiritual. Yes, it is a physical day of rest, but it's more so a spiritual day of rest as well. You get recharged up, man, in the spirit. So instead of resting in the Lord, you're resting in a woman? Nah, man. That's off. Having sex on the Sabbath is off, man. Okay? And that shows you how undisciplined, how wanton certain guys' minds are. That for one period of 24 hours every week, you can't not deal with your woman, man. Alright? That's some fucked up shit, man. You ain't got your head straight. You're not thinking straight, man. Alright? So yeah, the woman is a pillar of rest, but that's not the type of rest you want on the Sabbath, man. You want to be resting in the Lord, indulging in spiritual things, man. Okay? You know, like I said, it's very simple. The Sabbath days, if you can get the day off work, man, you know, you rest physically. You sleep a little bit longer. You know, you've been working 6 days, you know, you've been laboring. Sleep a little bit longer on the Sabbath day. You wake up, all right? If you prepared some food from the preparation day, the day before, you eat, man. Okay, because the Sabbath starts at evening. So you automatically, well, depending on your schedule, most brothers gonna be awake anyway when the evening time comes in, man. Because it's still in, you gotta flip calendars and time schedules and the way you calculate time. In this world society, is still like, why would you be sleeping at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in winter? Do you know what I mean? So you're gonna be up anyway. So when you do go to bed and you wake up the next day, which is the actual like sunrise of that day, the Sabbath, you know, if you can get the day off, you can rest a bit more. All right, eat some food. All right, try, as you said, you try to prepare for the preparation the day before. Study, pray, do videos, watch videos, man. That's the Sabbath day. Okay, you ain't got to complicate it, man. And like I said, we're not saved by the keeping of the law. In fact, let me get one more precept, then I'm gonna close it out, man. We're saved by Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, we're not saved by our ability to keep the law, because we all go off, man. Okay, you know, but we still honor the law, statutes, and commandments. We just honor it knowing that we're not saved by it, man. I'm gonna close it out on this. Oh, it's not even loading for me, man. Where is this at? It's Romans, isn't it? Yeah. Is it gonna work now? So look, I'm gonna close it out on this, man. This phone is so slow. Here we go. Romans 3:27, and it says, "What is boasting then? It is excluded. By what law of works? Nay, but by the law of faith." You know, so we can't boast in the 613 laws of the Torah, man. The Torah. You can't boast in the Torah, man, because we all fall subject. Where failure is concerned, we all fall subject to that law. We all fail at the Torah, man. You can't keep it perfectly. All right. So where is boasting then? It is excluded. By what law of works? Nay, no, but by the law of faith. So above the whole 613 law, statutes, and commandments, the top law is the law of faith, which is not founded in your ability to keep Sabbath, not founded in your ability to not wear mixed fabric, not founded in your ability to keep fucking fringes, man. It ain't in that, man. The law of faith is founded in none other than Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, specifically the power invested in the Son Yahweh Shai unto salvation of his elect. The law of faith, man. That's why the scripture says, without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High. Not by your ability to keep the law, all right, but by faith, man, all right. But nonetheless, we acknowledge the law, and the Sabbath is a part of it, man. As I said, we're not saved by ability to keep Sabbath, man. But where the Sabbath is concerned, what you can and can't do, this has been a quick overview of that, man. So I hope it's been edifying. On to the next time, I'll say Shalom, man. Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai. Kal, Halalim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Alright, thumb yad to what, man. You Akim, stay up. And on to the next time, I'm out. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.